Woke up with a dream in my pocket. Took a step and I couldn't stop it. Every stumble lit a fire inside. Now I walk with my head held high. Lessons learned and bridges burned. Still I rise with every turn. This is more than just a climb. It's my moment, it's my time. No more hiding in the crowd. Gonna wear my soul out loud. The world is waiting just to see all the magic inside of me. Shine, shine like a diamond bright. Shine your light, you've got every right. You are special, let it show. Be yourself and let it flow. Stand out, don't dim your glow. You were born to steal the show. Shine, shine like you mean it. Shine so bright they can't believe it. Pages turn, but the heart stayed true. Every scar's got a golden hue. Telling my story in my own style. With every post, every smile. From the hustle to the heart. Every ending's a brand new start. Turning passion into plans. Now I'm dancing where I stand. I don't chase, I magnetize my journey.
Whoa. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name's Narelle Warcon, and I'm coming to you from Mackay, Queensland, Australia. Oh my gosh, it is a fantastic, wonderful day today because today we celebrate my son's birthday. But we're going to head over to that shortly. I just want to say a few quick hellos to those coming in. Thank you, Jean, for joining us today from the US and nice and early again. Thank you, Gur, for popping in. Really appreciate it. And for you, Bablu, as well. Kenton, thank you for joining us from New Zealand. Really appreciate it. And Birgith, I believe, is coming in from Norway. So thank you for joining us, Birgith. And my dear friend, Lydia David, you're all my friends. But Lydia David, which we call Lids, coming in from Mariba in northern Queensland. Tonight is a very big night here in Australia because it's what they call State of Origin. And State of Origin is a football game that's played between New South Wales and Queensland, two states. It's being played in WA. So our dear friend Vavine is off to the football over there to watch them play. So Vavine won't be joining us tonight. So I sent our apologies for Vavine. She said she might try and jump on, but we'll see, because when you're in a crowd like that, I don't think you'd be able to hear anything. So I just saw Glenda pop in from South Australia, and Saraj, thank you so much for joining us from India. And anyone else popping onto my LinkedIn channel, thank you so much for joining me over there. And also for those coming in on Narelle Warcon Author, which is my Facebook page. As you all know, I am an author, and I wrote a book about my life, having survived through domestic violence and things like that. So go the Kiwis, yeah, not yet, Kenton. New South Wales or Queensland, I'm a maroon girl, which is red maroon for Queenslander, and the cockroaches, isn't it? Cockroaches are blue, so New South Wales. So they call us the cane toads, Queensland, and the cockroaches for New South Wales. It's a fairly full-on game because they really sort of get into it. Now they've already had one. It's the best of three. New South Wales won the first one, but again, this is being played in Western Australia, and there'll be many over there cheering on whichever side they go for. Hi, digital product. Not quite. Oh, that's you. Oh God, for goodness sake, I've just lost my memory there. Anal, I think it's you. Thank you for joining us. If you're popping in from LinkedIn, thank you. Mr. Robbie Kumar Roy, thank you so much for joining us today. So I know that you're all coming in, and if you have shared it out, thank you so much. Like I said, today is very special. Today is my son's birthday. I'll see if he wants me to share how old he is a little bit later. But let's have a look at what our topic was today. And I'm just going to do two very simple segments of this topic because I think it is very broad. And we have a very special guest as well next week. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that. So just a quick recap of last week's theme. Remember, we went over small is the new big. Did it sort of bring up anything for you about, oh my gosh, I've been putting myself down or not stepping up to where I needed to be? These are things that I think that we can revisit. If you go over the older videos on my YouTube channel, thank you so much for doing that. And please continue to like and love and leave a message because it means so much to me. I also forgot to say that I want to do a bit of a thank you for all my new subscribers. You guys are amazing. It really, truly is heartfelt from me that you come on and listen to not only my, Who, What, Where Wednesday, which is now, but also for leaving your comments, remarks, and any of those sort of things and the interaction that we hold there. So thank you so much for all new subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, it is free. You don't need to pay anything here. Just in saying that, I am putting together and have put together a new little membership. Now, this will equate to a monthly, it's very low cost. It's mainly for those who want to get that little bit extra value from me personally. And we will be looking into that a little bit later on. So you do have a join button on your YouTube channel if you're coming in there. So if you want to have a look at that later, you can go back and have a look at that as well. So let's get on with this subject. So today's topic is, does age really matter? And I'm sure that many of you have sort of thought about this in your life, like certain things that happen in your life. And like I said, we're not going to go in depth today about this because it really is about my son, Shannon. But yeah, so age is no barrier. It's a limitation you put on your mind. So you see a lot of people, oh, I'm getting old, or I'm too young, I haven't got the experience. And they start to put that fake feelings, that self-talk, which we're going to be talking about next week. So much of that is really about that self-talk. Oh, by the way, before I go any further, if you have, like, we're bringing Shannon on soon, but what I want you to do is think about a question that you might want to ask him, so have a think about that. And I'll come over to the chat and have a look for those once we get him on. So thank you for all those leaving comments and saying hellos in the chat. Thank you so much. So are we putting limitations on ourselves by saying I'm too young or I'm too old? Okay, so with both, I think, comes a bit of an age myth, particularly in business. So let's break down the misconceptions around age first. So too young equals not experienced enough. So do you feel that if you're young, you haven't got that experience? Like, we all had to start somewhere, remember? We started where we had to learn. We sort of had to put ourselves into different situations where we thought, you know what, I'm going to trial this out. Because sometimes when you leave school, high school, onto college and things like that, you find a lot of people actually change direction because of their maturity. So what they thought they wanted as a child or as they came through the school years, or maybe they didn't have that decision available, they didn't have it available to them as to what they really knew what they wanted when they didn't know what they wanted, if you know what I mean. So late bloomers, or the older generation, and I'm included in that, entrepreneurs starting in their 50s. So those people who've got experience, they've worked hard, they've worked at one particular job, or they've had a few over their lifetime. And back, remember that culture of when I grew up was you had to have a job for like a lifetime. There's many in our business that, if you look at Chris Johnson, he was with Ford for 32 years, because most of that was because, firstly, it was a job. Okay. Not everybody who goes through college and gets degrees and qualifications goes on to do those things. You know, if it's a doctor, hey, Rasheb, lovely to see you. If it's something of a qualification, you know, I only went to grade 10. School wasn't for me, okay? But I went on to become a florist. I went on to own my own businesses. I went on to drive dump trucks in the coal mines. I'm a fully qualified masseuse. So if you turn your hands to those things that are something that you love, something that you can embrace, you can usually find the success there because you're doing what you love. Okay. So that doesn't really matter about age so much. But young innovators, who do we know? Who do you know that's a young innovator, like, you know, a tech founder, you know, who's creative? You know, were you creative when you were younger and then you sat on it for a while and now you're bringing it out again? You know, so there's many things that we can look at there. So success is not tied to a timeline. It's tied to intention. Hi, Ram. Lovely to see you. So what are you tying this timeline to? You know, it's an intention of, can I do this? Am I able to do this? What are your restrictions that you're putting on yourself? Because really, you can do anything you want to do. But I've always found in my life the things that I love to do when I was working in the florist, which I absolutely love, and I love flowers, that was something that I enjoyed getting up for. You know, there are many in positions. Hi, Shane, lovely to see you. Positions that they don't really want to be there, but they do it because of the money. So there's good, I suppose, in a sense of being young and being innovative. You know, coming into this world where we've got a lot of new technology. Hey, Agoon, sorry. You know, like the children of today don't know any different. You know, what we grew up with was old fashioned. Now that we look at it, I have known successful artists and business people who didn't even start their new career or passion until they were in their 80s. Narelle's right. Age is not a limitation. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. You know, there are so many that start, you know, even into that older age. But isn't that a wonderful thing? Hey, Olive, lovely to see you. I'll come back to your message in a minute, Olive, but it is great to see you. Thank you for leaving that. Okay, so what limitations are you putting on yourself as far as an age barrier goes? So have you ever felt limited or underestimated because of your age? If you have, drop it in the chat for me. I'd love to read about some of those. So yeah, have you ever felt limited or underestimated? So somebody may have thought, they're not going to be any good. You know, I'll hire them for this, but you have achieved above and beyond. You went above and beyond what they required of you from the position that you were in. Okay, so sometimes we can show ourselves off, I suppose, in a sense of being better than what other people think we are. So you have it in here, remember. You can do whatever you want. So you go out there and do what you need to do to get where you need to get. Okay, so the personal side of age is the wisdom of life stages. So how every season brings its own gifts. And I know Jean is very much into the seasonal of what it can bring and how we can change. And as we go through those different age groups of, you know, being a youngster at school, coming into those teenage, you know, 20-year-olds where you're looking at finding a partner, and then maybe marrying, and then maybe, you know, going on to have children, and then maybe going on to divorce. No, just kidding. Maybe going on to, you know, those children growing up and going through school, you know, and the difference I think that we can make sometimes. I'm not sure if you feel this, but I certainly do, that some of the things that were handed down by my parents was work your guts out, you know, just work. Well, there's got to be life balance. And even though they're beautiful Christian people, mum and dad worked very, very hard, too hard, I believe, in some cases. And they were taken for a little bit of a ride because of their beautiful hearts and their generosity to get out there and just do what they had to do. So age can be a little bit of a barrier when it comes to I've always said, because I've owned businesses, bricks and mortar, my own florist shops, that when you are an employer, you are an amazing employee, okay, if you're not in business anymore, because you work so hard to build up your own business, to build your clientele, to build your circle of influence and stuff like that. So your business actually grows each year, and you can establish the beautiful connections that you can make. Just like in our business, we have beautiful connections, right? So we're able to, I think, very broadly over the age groups in our business. It's really, amazing how many of us are at different age groups, and yet we all come together with that beautiful heart. Hi, Abdul, lovely to see you. Sorry, I missed you there. Okay, so the wisdom of life stages, many. Letting go of age-based expectations, personally and socially. So again, I bring it back to, we're able to adjust ourselves to social interactions, to, personal interactions. And you will find some people that are elderly, like we have elderly neighbours in their 80s, you become more friendly with certain age groups. I'm in my 60s, and, younger people, like my daughters are younger, and they have a certain group, you know what I mean? So you sort of tend to be able to, just join together, I suppose. And when you come together with heart, it makes a big difference. So that's all I'm saying. So parenting is a big thing, because you change things from your parents handed down, that you want your children, or expectations on your children, which it isn't really expectations, but it's just different learning patterns that you want to hand down. So do not regret growing older. It's a privilege denied to many. And that's a very big quote that I've always sort of stood by, that do not regret growing older. Okay, people think, oh, getting too old for this, I'm getting too old for that. A lot of it's in here, self-talk. And like I said, we're going to be going over that next week. So, okay, so now I think it's time. What do you reckon? Do you reckon it's time to bring Shannon on and celebrate my son's birthday? I know that the topic today was about, does age really matter? And again, I think that is sort of a little bit of relevance there, I suppose. Family has every age, absolutely, every culture, every religion, everything. And you can get on. People don't understand, I don't want to go down the road of negativity or what's happening in our world, but it's out there and it's happening, okay? Is there anything we can do personally? Probably not. Is there something we can do united? Absolutely, because we're always stronger together. And like I said, when you come together with heart, it's a different strength. It's a real tight, yeah, anyway, you know what I mean. So if you have thought about questions you might want to ask Shannon, we are going to bring him on. I'm going to play a little video for his birthday, so we'll go over to that video, and just stay right there, because we'll be back just after the video, so hang on a second.
Happy birthday, Shannon, you're an amazing son. For all the love you give to me and everything you've done. But we love you and we thank you more than words can say. So here's a cheer to you, dear son. Have a very special day.
And here we are. Hello, this is my son Shannon. Let me introduce him. This is Shannon Polgurski, and Shannon has a birthday today, so I'm going to come over to the chat soon. What I want to do is just tell you a little bit about my son, because he is very special to me. Happy birthday, Shannon, from Gina Lever.
Oh, thank you.
So say hello, Shannon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for being here. It's a real pleasure to have a mother like Narelle, and thank you again.
Okay, so back over to me. So I'm going to run through a few things, because if you haven't read my book and if you haven't listened to my videos from the beginning, most people may or may not know that I have a son and 2 daughters. My son is my eldest child. Can we tell him how old you are today?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so Shannon is 41 today, and hip hip hooray. So Shannon was born. Look, I was told at the age of 21 that my chances of ever having children was 5%. I had some inside concerns and problems. Hi, Birgit. Lovely to see you. I had some inside women problems that didn't allow me to carry children full term, and that we didn't know how that was going to play out, in a sense. So at the age of 23, I had my son. I fell pregnant out of marriage, heaven forbid. But it was the most beautiful and blessed time I'd ever felt in my life, because all I wanted to do was to have children. That's how you grow up. You know, that my parents told us that we should get married and have children. And there was no career or anything back then. Yeah, thanks, Lydia. So I fell pregnant with Shannon, and I was elated. I was absolutely beside myself, even though his dad had taken off. I was going to, bring and raise my child. I didn't know what Shannon was going to be when he was born. But he was born 13 weeks premature. So Shannon was born at just over 6 months. It was a very, let me say that, it's something that you never lose as a mum, because you remember every single detail. And he probably thinks, oh my gosh, this is the 2,000 millionth time mum's told this story. However, Shannon was born, he was instrument birth, and he weighed 1 pound 12. He was very small and very critical. They took him away from me immediately because he wasn't breathing by himself. Shannon was about 11 to 12 inches long, frail, little tiny. I didn't see him straight away. They came back to tell me that I actually had a boy when they told me I had a girl. But they came back and told me that he was a boy. So that was really nice of them. But being born so premature brings along many difficulties in life, right? So premature, he had heart surgery at 8 days old. His right lung collapsed. He was on Ventolin for 6 weeks, I think it was. It could have been longer. It could have been 12 weeks. I do forget those details. He had oxygen, like ventilated, and he came off twice. And the third time they said to me, if he doesn't come off this time, he may be having to use that machine for the rest of his life. I'm a great believer in God, as you know. And the prayers, I prayed constantly every minute of every day while my son was in a humidity crib. He had severely turned feet. He had a very high palate in his mouth, not a cleft palate, but just very high. And Shannon was an absolute blessing. I was rushed to hospital away from my own hometown, about 4 hours, 2.5, 3 hours away from my own hometown. So it was really difficult for me to actually have to go through this alone. But besides that, Shannon was blessed to me for a reason. And, he was, he was about 3 months before it was 4 months before I was able to bring him home at the weight of 6 pounds. Before Shannon's heart surgery, he dropped to 1 pound 8. So 1 pound 8 becomes even smaller. They went in through his back. It was a really stressful time for me. However, he did come through, and Shannon has progressed ever since. There was many surgeries, surgery on his feet. There was many surgeries that he had to have to be able to walk properly and things like that. But today he turns 41, and what a blessing it is. Now, one of the things that Shannon said, you know that in 2015, it's coming up for my 10-year anniversary, heartversary, next month, and I will be celebrating that big time. But Shannon always said to me, Mum, you looked after me for so long when I was so ill and struggled through all of those early years and things like that. that he would only give his time to be able to look after me now. So when I had open heart surgery, it was a big deal. I had frozen shoulder. I had a lot of pain. I suffered a lot of pain. So I want to thank my son for everything that he has done. He is my only son. I have 2 daughters, like I said. Shannon is an absolute blessing to me. And we have a really beautiful mother-son relationship, to the extent that everybody thinks he's my husband or my partner. But anyway, I just needed to throw that in there because it makes me feel good, but not so much him. So if you have any questions now, otherwise I'm going to go over to Shannon. I'll just see what's here first. Let me have a quick look. Maybe those questions can come across. Just let me move my little mouse here. Any questions? There's many birthday messages coming through from Shay, Kenton. Oh, I do have a message to read from Kenton as well, so maybe I'll go to that. And Kenton, please forgive me. I have no idea what some of these words actually mean. Oh, hi, Masoki. Oh,
Hello,
my gosh.
Masoki.
I want to say, yeah, beautiful blessing for Masoki to be here. Masoki is somebody that means a lot to me. He lives in Uganda and he looks after quite a few orphans over there. Masoki, we appreciate you for coming on because I know how difficult it is in where you live. And I just want to say a big shout out to Masoki as well. He has not been well. He is a young man, only about 29. He has typhoid fever and has been in hospital. So please say some prayers for Masoki and the children because they all need our blessing right now. So I'm going to go over and read this message quickly. And like I said, please forgive me, Kenton, for any stuff-ups I make. So it says, Chur Bro Shannon, wishing you all the best from across the ditch. Another lap around the sun and you're still looking choice. Must be all that L&P and fish and chips or fish and chips. I don't know how they say.
Yeah, fish and chops.
Hope your birthday's full of jandals, which is thongs here, pavlova, and no surprise visits. Kick back, relax, Shannon, and party like a tui on a sugar rush. So a tui is a New Zealand bird, I think it is. KPA, your legend, stay classy, and remember, Cuzzy, if things go sideways, just blame it on the Kiwis. So thank you so much for that, Kenton. Like I said, some of it, I have no idea what that means, but I know Shannon will say thank you in a minute for that.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we have same sentiments about Mum. She's special. Yeah, so any questions coming in? I haven't seen any. Serene energy, Shannon. Thank you for being such a blessing to your mum. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over to Shannon because I know that you all want to hear from him. You know, he can sort of give a bit of a run through on his side of things as well. So over to you, Shannon.
Hello. Yeah, it's been a long 41 years, but it's been a good 41 years. I wouldn't ask for any other mother bar Narelle. She's been hard at times, but she's also been fair at times, as well as she's taught me a lot of things from different perspectives, like how hard it is to be a single mother, but also the joys of what's out there and seeing it from different perspectives, as well as, you know, also looking at it through a different lens, through the different genders, as well as just shaping me into the man that I am today, that I am caring. I'm also, you know, very understanding. I usually don't talk too much. I'll sit there and listen, and then I'll play it in my head and I'll understand it, and then I'll come back with a response. So usually, yeah, but it's been pretty good, I must say. You know, every year is a blessing, and I look forward to the next one.
Yeah, and just saying, sorry, there was something that I was going to say there and I've just lost it for a minute. An absolute blessing, like I said, a blessing for both of us. We certainly have both been blessed. Oh, that is what I was going to say. I knew it would come back to me. That's that age-related thing, I think. Don't give me a hard time. When Shannon says he thinks he doesn't talk a lot, Shannon and I both we live together. We bought a home together so that we had that stability of not having to move or rent or do any of that stuff. The thing is, when I'm going through a bit of a tough time, Shannon brings that male energy of, what do you call it? Like a logical type to the thing. I'm very emotional. If you don't know that by now, and the older I get, the more emotional I get. But some things really upset me, and some people really upset me, and sometimes it's hard to take that and just say it's okay, just let it go. When you're younger, you're able to do that a little bit more easier, I suppose. But with Shannon by my side, he brings that logic, more thoughtful, what do you call it, more bit of calmness, yeah, to, not that I get like hugely upset and carry on or anything, but Shannon just brings that
focus.
Yeah, he brings that side, that male side to the relationship that we have as mom and son, which gives me that stability of knowing that I'm safe, I'm secure. Shannon puts his input in, and then I can make decisions from that. So if you don't have that balance of like a male female energy, sometimes it's hard to do on your own. Sometimes it's hard, and I know, Kenton, you probably have a similar situation with your daughter. Then you bring a balance to what you have as a parent and a child, a mother, a son, or a father and a daughter. So there's certainly a lot of balance there. Shannon has been my stability through many difficult situations in my life. As you know, by reading my book, I went through they do. They don't muck around with things, Jean. They just go, this is what it looks like and this is what it should do. But they usually have to think about it for a little while. They don't just come in and go bullet a gate at it. They think about it. They're logical about that. So, yeah, and they stay focused. Yeah, absolutely. Women, we tend to throw emotion in there and, all sorts of scenarios in our head. That's why I'm looking forward to our guest next week as well. So here, age doesn't define your value. Yeah. So thank you for coming on today and listening to me talk a little bit about age-related things. What I want to do is ask you a couple of questions as well. So age doesn't define your value, your vision does. So what are you really relying on as far as your vision? It's got nothing to do with your age. Age is here. Okay. And even though our body starts to break down a little bit, there are things that we can do to keep ourselves healthy, to keep ourselves moving forward, to make those choices in life as to where we want to go, because it's no good just giving up. Okay. Giving up is just, they say never give up, right? Because there's always options out there. There's always choices for you. So what age-related limiting, I can't see that, just hang on a second. Sorry, I had to write down a couple of things. What age-related limiting beliefs are you leaving behind? So is there something that you've learned today that you may be saying, well, you know what, I think I can just let that go, and like I said, there's our topic next week, which I'm going to get to. And what goal are you ready to pursue regardless of age? So is there something that you've been hanging on to? Is there something that you may be thinking, I'm just too old to do that? Look, there is a certain thing. I think that what comes up for people is regret. Don't look back on your life when you're laying there on your deathbed, or you're laying there and think, I should have, or I could have. but I didn't because I thought I wasn't good enough or old enough or young enough, or, all of these things. There's such a big topic here. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot coming out next week as well. So just bear with me a minute because I just want to run over a couple of things here. So I want to ask Shannon one last question before we do finish up here. I do have some other things to share with you. Sorry.
All right.
So I've got one more question for Shannon, and it is, so Shannon, does age really matter?
To me, no, it doesn't. At the end of the day, yes, like my mum said, the body will start to slow down, but the mind never does. If you're constantly reading or doing something you love, arts and crafts, woodwork, timber, even mowing your lawn, you're still keeping active to some certain degree, and therefore you're keeping your mind active. And with the mind active, you're able to do anything. You're able to start writing a book, for example, or teaching all that you've learned throughout the many years to the next generation, to the next, and giving them the ability to go, well, hey, I never thought of it this way, and oh, that's a great idea. Passing on those little tidbits of information that you picked up throughout your work life and personal life and just life in general, that can be passed down to the next generation to help them succeed.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I think Shannon's words will ring with you all tonight, that it doesn't matter the age. It is mindset. It is that talk. Hey, Chris Johnson, lovely to see you. And the birthday boy. Yes,
Hey.
Hey, see, my son. I have to say this quickly before we finish off there, but Shannon has been actively involved with our business. You have never seen him before. You may have seen him walk past while I was, on a webinar, a lengthy webinar. But, he has been there listening. He listens to you, Chris. He listens to Marty. He knows what's going on, because some of those things, well, actually a lot, I share with him, because Shannon is my that other person that I can, share things with and say, this is what's happening. So we appreciate you, Chris Johnson. And what does Chris say?
Oh, what does Chris? Chris says, hey. Yeah.
So he does hear that. He's there and he listens to you when you come on every evening. And thank you for everything that you do, Chris. We really appreciate it. I had sent the invite to Chris, not knowing whether, because it's an early morning, whether he was able to come on or not. But we do greatly appreciate that. So next week, we have a very special guest. Before I go there, I want to say thank you to my son. I love you dearly. And I appreciate everything that you have done for me and for our family as well. You truly have a beautiful heart, and you are a true blessing to not only me, but to your sisters and to your niece, my one and only granddaughter. And, it's just one of those things. I think that I'm not going to get emotional here, but I think every year as we get on, that the bond of mother and son, and I see that Glenda wrote about her and her daughter as well. As you get older, I think it becomes more even closer as a parent and a child. As you grow into those adult years, as you go through things together, as you support each other, as you lift each other up, when you help each other up and when people are down. So thank you to all of those who've come on today to not only celebrate Shannon's birthday, but also the beautiful messages that you've written about it being such a blessing. We really do appreciate that.
Yes, we do. Thank you very much again to everyone for everything that you've said, and the birthday wishes, the praise for me, and as well as my mother. I'd like to thank each and every one of you. Thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, Shannon. And like I said, each and every one of you is an absolute blessing to us as well. We must remember everybody in prayer. There are many in our world going through some very difficult times right now. And one of the things that we know, that if we pray together, we are stronger together. So reach out to those around you, your neighborhood. reach out to those. If you can't reach out to anybody and help anybody in any way, prayers are amazing, you know, and they do work. So keep praying for all of those people that Chris calls out every evening. Evening for me, morning for you. You know, keep those prayers going for Ash and his family. Keep those prayers going for Marty. Marty is in rehabilitation. I haven't heard any more news as to when he may be coming home, but there's no need to rush. You know, Marty just wants to get home and do all the things he used to do. Like me, when I had my heart attack, just, you know, slowly take a few days off and back into it. My son knows how hard I work, you know, and for this business, for the people. He knows that my heart is there to be able to provide for not only my family, but for so many people all over the world. And like I said, it was such a blessing to see Masoki's message come up tonight, because I know he's been going through a really difficult time. Thank you, Bergeth. I love you. So I want to say that if there's no other questions, we're going to finish off. But before we go, don't leave yet, okay? Don't forget that I do have a new membership. Hi, Gutem, lovely to see you. Have a look at that afterwards. Just have a look at the join button, see how much it is. It's just a little incentive so that I can share personally with a few more who will become members, but also that I can help others in need, okay? So this is what it's all about. It's about helping those who have no help out there, okay? And there's so many of them. We will change this world, and together we are stronger. So my guest for next week, do you know who it's going to be? It's going to be the one and only Willow Griffith. Willow's going to come in and join me next week, and we're going to be sharing a little bit more about age, because Willow is already there in her 80s. Hi, Ava, lovely to see you. But also about self-talk. Now, Willow used to run a show, and I know that she's bringing that back together on her YouTube channel as well. So remember that we are calling out for those with YouTube channels that we will be able to support and connect with on those channels to build your channels up as well. But Willow is coming on, bless her. She just makes my heart smile. She's such a beautiful lady. Not quite sure whether I've seen her here today in the chat. Just if anybody can let me know if she has been here, I just can't see her there. But Willow's going to come on, and we're going to be talking about, give me a second while I get this right. So self-talk and finding meaning at every age. So isn't that going to be wonderful to have somebody on that's lived such a big life and such a interesting, and she's so beautiful with people. You know, she has a heart of gold, and she is going to bring so much to next week's Who What Where Wednesday. But yeah, Willow is absolutely wonderful, and I'm looking forward to having you. Please share it out. Willow Griffith will be on next Wednesday. For you in the US, it'll be 6 a.m. For here in Australia. Please take a look at the upcoming. I usually send out the information, but here in Queensland, it will be 8 p.m. Next Wednesday. And hopefully, Vivina, your team didn't win tonight and mine did. She will be absolutely, elated if her team's won again, because then that means they've won 2 out of 3. So just quickly go over this. Namaste. Thank you all for joining in from wherever you're coming in from. Chris, she is fired because Ava did sneak in late. Mama Bear must have been snoozing, I think, on the lounge. So Jean, thank you once again. Lydia, my dear friend Lids, Chris Johnson, I really appreciate you. And yeah, I am on Chris's lives every night at 11 o'clock. It is here as a administrator, and I love and enjoy it because, you know, we look out for each other. That's another thing that we all do here, and that we want to share that love and that passion that we have with other people so that they can feel it. You know, like we need to get out there and start feeling, not touching people, but just feeling, you know, sharing our feelings, making sure that love is part of your life. Every day you need to get out there, smile at somebody, say hello. Age is just a number. So I'm just going quickly back up here. Just remember, we're not going to go over to the website tonight, but remember, I do have a website with my book there. It's narellewarcon.com. Like I said, you can pop over there. We do have the memberships coming. So if you want to have a look at the join button and see what you can do there, if you want to be a part of that, there will be some extra, not incentives, but extra value, I suppose, put there as well. And was there anything else I needed to talk about? Like I said, if you want to subscribe to the channel, that's fantastic. So you can subscribe for free. Let people know if you find this has been of value. I know tonight's been about my son Shannon, but also about, does age really matter? Have a think about that, because next week we'll be coming, like I said, with Willow, and we'll be talking a little bit more in depth about how we react to certain things or certain people in our lives that are telling us things that maybe we know isn't true, but sometimes we take on those the words that they've shared as being truth. Thank you, Jean. I really appreciate it. And again, thank you all. MD Aladdin, Magic Carpet, maybe. Sorry for the names. Olive, thank you again for joining us. Olive came in on last week's as a newbie, so thank you, Olive, for being here. I appreciate your interaction as well. And Kenton from New Zealand.
Well done.
And Kenton's always here every week with some beautiful words to say. So we're going to finish off now and make sure that you have a happy and blessed day wherever you are. And for those here in Australia, have a wonderful rest of the week. Sleep well and stay safe. You made him a kangaroo. Not today, but we're going out for dinner on Saturday night, because tonight is, my life. Hello. And Shannon decided that it was okay. He wanted to come on and share who he is, because it's important that you all know, a little bit more personally, I suppose, about my family. And Shannon was the start of that. So, yeah. But what was I saying? Birthday cake. Yeah. So we're going out Saturday night, and with my two sisters that live here and their husbands. So we're going to go out for dinner to a nice club and just enjoy ourselves. So Shannon will be celebrating for the next few days. I also just quickly bought him a little scratchy, I think you call it scratcher or something over there, and he won $50. So I was really happy about that. But anyway, we are a close-knit family. We love you all. Remember, reach out to somebody today, smile, say thank you. Love on somebody, because it is needed in this world right now. Okay, so thank you once again, Shannon. Prayers and love to you all, and I shall see you again next week with Willow Griffith. Thank you, Lydia. Love you. And love and blessings to you all. Thanks again for joining us on Who, What, Where Wednesday.